In the shadowy depths of ancient religious texts lies a manuscript so controversial, so profound, that it has captivated minds across millennia, the Book of Enoch. This enigmatic work, emerging from the mists of the Second Temple period, tells a tale of celestial rebellion, forbidden knowledge, and divine judgment that continues to resonate with alarming relevance today. The story begins with Enoch, the seventh patriarch from Adam, who walked with God and was chosen to witness heaven's darkest secrets. But this is no mere religious text. It is a haunting warning about the consequences of crossing sacred boundaries, a narrative that echoes through time to our present moment of moral crisis. As we delve into these ancient pages, we confront fundamental questions that have plagued humanity since its inception. What happens when divine beings transgress their ordained roles? What price must be paid for forbidden knowledge? And most chillingly, could such a catastrophic intervention in human affairs happen again? The Book of Enoch's significance transcends its historical context, serving as a mirror to our own struggles with power, knowledge, and moral responsibility. Its warnings about the corruption of heaven's own watchers force us to examine the guardians of our own time, those who hold unprecedented power over humanity's future. The resurgence of interest in the Book of Enoch in modern times reflects our deepest anxieties about power and accountability. As traditional institutions face unprecedented scrutiny, this ancient text's warnings about corrupted authority figures strike a particularly resonant chord. In corridors of power from Wall Street to Silicon Valley, where decisions affecting millions are made daily, Enoch's account of the Watchers' abuse of authority serves as a stark cautionary tale. The text's depiction of beings who possessed extraordinary knowledge, yet failed in their sacred duties, mirrors contemporary concerns about institutional oversight and ethical leadership. Religious communities and secular scholars alike find themselves drawn to its unflinching examination of moral corruption at the highest levels. The book's vivid portrayal of judgment and accountability speaks directly to modern debates about corporate responsibility, institutional transparency, and the ethical use of power. Furthermore, its themes of divine intervention in human affairs continue to captivate those seeking answers in an increasingly complex moral landscape. As we venture deeper into the Book of Enoch, a carefully orchestrated narrative unfolds across 5 distinct sections, each more revealing than the last. At its heart lies the chilling account of the Watchers, once loyal celestial guardians, whose fateful decision to abandon their posts triggered catastrophic consequences for humanity. The text builds with masterful tension, beginning with the dramatic fall of these divine beings and culminating in prophecies of final judgment. Through Enoch's eyes, we witness heavenly revelations, apocalyptic visions, and urgent warnings that echo through the centuries. The narrative weaves together cosmic battles, forbidden romances between angels and mortals, and the terrifying emergence of the Nephilim, hybrid beings whose very existence threaten the natural order. Each section peels back another layer of this cosmic drama. From the initial transgression of the Watchers to their desperate plea for mercy, from Enoch's remarkable heavenly journeys to his final warnings for future generations. In the tumultuous period between the 3rd century BC and 1st century AD, an era marked by profound religious upheaval and political turmoil, the Book of Enoch emerged from the shadows of Jewish mystical tradition. This was the Second Temple period, where the very foundations of faith were being tested and transformed. Jerusalem stood as a city divided, torn between Hellenistic influence and ancient traditions. The temple priests wielded unprecedented power, yet corruption festered within the holy sanctuary. It was in this crucible of spiritual crisis that unknown scribes began recording the extraordinary visions attributed to Enoch, the ancient patriarch who had walked with God. The streets echoed with whispers of coming judgment, as political oppression and religious persecution intensified. Various Jewish sects arose, each claiming unique access to divine truth. Among them, the Essenes retreated to the desert, preserving sacred texts and awaiting divine intervention. The Book of Enoch, with its warnings of celestial rebellion and divine retribution, spoke directly to this atmosphere of impending apocalypse. Behind the temple's golden walls, priests debated the boundaries between divine and human knowledge, while in hidden chambers, mystics contemplated the secrets of heaven revealed through Enoch's visions. Deep within the corridors of religious scholarship lies one of the most intriguing mysteries of ancient literature: the true authorship of the Book of Enoch. Though attributed to the great patriarch who walked with God, the text bears the unmistakable marks of multiple hands working across centuries, each adding layers to this profound spiritual drama. The mystery deepens when we examine the writing styles and historical references scattered throughout the text. While the book claims the authority of Enoch, the seventh from Adam, careful analysis reveals authors intimately familiar with events that occurred centuries after the patriarch's supposed assumption into heaven. These writers wielded their pens during the Second Temple period, crafting their messages with urgent purpose. This practice of pseudepigraphy, attributing texts to revered ancient figures, was not uncommon in antiquity. Yet the Book of Enoch stands apart in its complexity. The authors didn't merely borrow Enoch's name, they constructed an intricate narrative framework that transported readers from earthly realms to celestial courts, from historical events to apocalyptic visions. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered at Qumran, fragments of the Book of Enoch emerged, written in Aramaic, the common language of Jews during the Second Temple period. These fragments raised even more questions. Why did the authors choose to remain anonymous? What compelled them to channel their warnings through the voice of Enoch? The answers may lie in the dangerous political climate of their time, where direct criticism of corrupt authorities could prove fatal. The text's authenticity, therefore, lies not in its claimed authorship, but in its powerful articulation of spiritual truths and moral warnings that transcend time. The Book of Enoch emerged as a powerful undercurrent in ancient Jewish literature, sending shockwaves through religious communities that would resonate for centuries. In the labyrinthine world of Second Temple Judaism, this text stood as a towering monument to apocalyptic literature, influencing religious thought in ways that would reshape spiritual understanding forever. Within the sacred halls of Jerusalem's temple and in the quiet study chambers of religious scholars, the Book of Enoch commanded both fascination and controversy. Its vivid descriptions of celestial rebellion and divine judgment became deeply embedded in the religious consciousness of the time. The text's influence extended far beyond its immediate audience, reaching into the very foundations of early Christian thought. Perhaps most striking was its relationship with canonical scripture. When Jude, writing his epistle, boldly quoted from the Book of Enoch, he thrust this mysterious text into the spotlight of early Christian discourse. This famous quotation, "Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his holy ones," created an indelible link between this enigmatic work and the emerging Christian canon. The Dead Sea Scrolls revealed just how deeply the Book of Enoch had penetrated Jewish sectarian thought. Among the caves of Qumran, multiple copies of the text were discovered, suggesting its significant role in the spiritual life of this austere community. These ancient scribes preserved its warnings about celestial transgression and divine judgment with the same care they gave to biblical texts. Yet the text's influence extended beyond religious boundaries. Its dramatic narratives of fallen angels and cosmic justice captured the imagination of writers and thinkers across the ancient world, weaving its themes into the broader tapestry of Mediterranean religious thought. Deep within the first 36 chapters of Enoch lies a tale of celestial transgression that shook the very foundations of heaven and earth. The Book of the Watchers tells of 200 angels, led by their chiefs Semyaza and Azazel, who abandoned their divine posts, seduced by the beauty of mortal women. From their celestial realm, these watchers gazed down upon the daughters of men with forbidden desire. Under Semyaza's leadership, they swore a terrible oath, binding themselves to an irreversible course of action. Descending to Mount Hermon, these mighty beings crossed the sacred boundary between heaven and earth, forever altering the course of human history. Their union with mortal women produced offspring of terrifying proportions, the Nephilim, giants whose insatiable hunger and violent nature brought devastation to the world. But the Watchers' transgression went beyond mere physical union. They began to share forbidden knowledge with humanity. Azazel taught the crafting of weapons and the art of beautification, while others revealed the secrets of sorcery, astronomy, and the manipulation of natural elements. As chaos descended upon the earth, the cries of suffering humanity reached the highest heavens. The archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel brought these laments before the throne of God. Enoch, chosen as heaven's intermediary, was sent to deliver the divine verdict to the fallen watchers, eternal imprisonment in the depths of the earth. In the book's climactic scenes, Enoch witnesses the binding of these once mighty beings, their desperate pleas for mercy echoing through the cosmos. Their punishment serves as an eternal warning about the consequences of corrupting divine order and abusing celestial power. Within chapters 37 to 71 of Enoch unfolds a series of 3 magnificent parables that pierce the veil between divine justice and human destiny. These revelations granted to Enoch during his celestial journeys paint a dramatic portrait of coming judgment and final vindication. The first parable opens with a thunderous vision of the final judgment, where the righteous and the wicked face their ultimate destiny. Here emerges the mysterious figure of the Son of Man, enthroned in glory, whose very presence strikes terror into the hearts of the mighty. Kings and rulers who once held dominion over the earth fall prostrate before his radiance, their former power reduced to dust. In the second parable, Enoch witnesses the secrets of the celestial bodies, but these astronomical observations serve only as a prelude to more urgent revelations. The text speaks of a coming election, where the righteous will be chosen and elevated, while those who oppress them face divine retribution. The heavenly hosts themselves tremble as these scenes of judgment unfold. The third parable reaches its crescendo with visions of the coming Messiah's kingdom. Here, the Son of Man is revealed as the ultimate executor of divine justice, wielding authority that makes even the mightiest angels bow in reverence. The weight of these revelations nearly overwhelms Enoch himself, as he witnesses the final triumph of righteousness over wickedness. Chapters 72 to 82 reveal Enoch's ascent into the celestial realms, where the angel Uriel unveils the sacred mechanisms governing the cosmos. This section unfolds as a dramatic revelation of divine order, where each celestial movement carries profound spiritual significance. Through Uriel's guidance, Enoch witnesses the inner workings of creation itself. The text describes with mounting intensity how the sun travels through 12 gates of heaven, each movement precisely orchestrated by divine command. The moon's phases are revealed not merely as natural phenomena, but as signs embedded with deep spiritual meaning, marking the boundaries between the sacred and profane. The drama intensifies as Uriel reveals the consequences of disrupting this divine order. Those who fail to recognize these celestial signs risk transgressing sacred boundaries, much like the watchers before them. The text warns of impending judgment for those who would dare to alter these divine appointments, their punishment as certain as the rising of the sun. Most controversially, this section introduces a solar calendar that stands in stark opposition to the lunar calendar commonly used in Jewish practice. This revelation carries with it an implicit challenge to established religious authority, suggesting that even the keepers of sacred time may have strayed from divine truth. The section concludes with a solemn warning. Those who ignore these celestial signs do so at their own peril, for they are not merely natural phenomena, but divine markers of judgment and redemption. Within chapters 82 to 90, Enoch reveals 2 earth-shattering visions that lay bare the destiny of humanity. The first vision unfolds with terrifying clarity as Enoch witnesses the coming of the Great Flood, a divine judgment that would cleanse the earth of its corruption. Through symbolic imagery of animals, the second vision tells the tale of humanity's struggle from Adam to the final judgment. Here, the righteous appear as white sheep, while their oppressors take the form of predatory birds and beasts. The vision builds to a crescendo as Enoch witnesses the emergence of great horns among the sheep, representing leaders who would rise to challenge their oppressors. The narrative reaches its peak with the appearance of a mighty ram, whose gaze brings terror to all who opposed the righteous. This messianic figure leads a final battle against the forces of darkness, culminating in a judgment that shakes the very foundations of heaven and earth. These visions conclude with a glimpse of the final transformation, where the old order crumbles and a new kingdom rises from its ashes. The righteous, once persecuted, stand triumphant while their former tormentors face eternal judgment. In the final chapters, 81 to 108, Enoch delivers his most urgent message, a searing testimony directed to future generations. This epistle serves as both a warning and a promise, revealing the ultimate fate awaiting both the righteous and the wicked. With unflinching clarity, Enoch describes the coming judgment that will shake the foundations of creation. His words pierce through time itself, as he warns of a day when every hidden deed will be exposed before the divine throne. The text builds with mounting intensity as it describes how the mighty will fall and the humble will rise. The epistle reaches its dramatic apex as Enoch reveals the final destiny of souls. Those who pursued righteousness, though persecuted in life, will shine like the stars of heaven. But for the wicked, a terrifying fate awaits. Their names will be blotted out from the book of life, their legacy erased from memory. In his final exhortation, Enoch pleads with future generations to heed these warnings. His voice echoes through the centuries, urging readers to choose the path of righteousness before the day of judgment arrives. In the celestial hierarchy revealed through Enoch's writings, the Watchers emerge as beings of extraordinary power and sacred responsibility. Originally stationed at the boundaries between heaven and earth, these angelic sentinels held a position of unparalleled trust in the divine order. 200 of these mighty beings, led by their chief Semyaza, stood as guardians over humanity. Their very name, Watchers, spoke of their sacred duty, to observe, never to interfere. Yet beneath their celestial authority lurked a fatal weakness. As they gazed down upon the mortal realm, desire began to corrupt their divine purpose. The text reveals their original splendor in haunting detail. Before their fall, they shone with heavenly light. Their voices carried the weight of divine authority, and their knowledge encompassed the deepest mysteries of creation. 20 leaders emerged among them, each commanding 10 others, forming a hierarchy that mirrored the divine court above. But their position between heaven and earth proved to be their undoing. Stationed at this crucial boundary, they witnessed the full scope of human life unfold before them. The beauty of mortal women awakened desires that had no place in their celestial nature. Their fall would begin not with an outright rebellion, but with a subtle turning of their gaze from divine duty to earthly temptation. The interaction between the Watchers and humanity marked one of the most catastrophic transgressions in spiritual history. What began with distant observation escalated into an unprecedented violation of divine law when these celestial beings descended to Mount Hermon, bound by a terrible oath to pursue their desires. Their initial approach to human women carried an air of divine majesty. The text describes how they appeared in forms of stunning beauty, their celestial nature barely contained within mortal guise. Many human women, captivated by their otherworldly presence, willingly entered into these forbidden unions, unaware of the devastating consequences that would follow. The relationships formed between Watchers and mortals shattered the natural order. These unions produced offspring, the Nephilim, whose very existence violated the boundaries between heaven and earth. These giant offspring possessed supernatural strength and an insatiable hunger that would bring terror to the mortal world. As their involvement with humanity deepened, the Watchers' transgression expanded beyond physical union. They began sharing celestial secrets, teaching humans knowledge that was never meant for mortal minds. This transfer of forbidden wisdom corrupted human society at its core, introducing arts and sciences that would lead to unprecedented destruction. The Watchers' transmission of celestial secrets to humanity represents one of the most profound violations of divine order. Under the leadership of Azazel, these beings systematically revealed knowledge that heaven had deemed too dangerous for mortal minds. Azazel himself became the master of deadly arts, teaching men the crafting of weapons, swords, knives, shields, and breastplates. This military knowledge transformed human conflict from simple disputes into organized warfare, unleashing unprecedented bloodshed across the earth. The text describes with chilling detail how peaceful settlements became armed camps and hunters became warriors. Semyaza and his followers introduced the dark arts of root cuttings and enchantments, while others revealed the secrets of astrology. The watcher named Penemu taught humans the bitter art of writing, which the text suggests led to new forms of deception and manipulation. Kasdeja revealed the deadly secrets of striking at serpents, leading to knowledge of poisons and their lethal applications. Perhaps most insidiously, the watcher named Barakajal taught the reading of omens in the stars, while Kokabel shared knowledge of the constellations. This astronomical knowledge, meant only for celestial beings, corrupted human understanding of divine signs and seasons. Through these teachings, the Watchers transformed human society from a state of primitive innocence into one of dangerous sophistication, where knowledge meant for heaven's halls brought chaos to the mortal realm. The divine response to the Watchers' transgressions unfolded with terrible finality. As the cries of a corrupted humanity reached heaven's courts, the archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel brought their petition before the throne of the Most High. The judgment that followed would reshape both celestial and earthly realms. The first judgment fell upon the offspring of the Watchers, the Nephilim. These mighty beings, whose violence had filled the earth with blood, were sentenced to turn against one another in devastating conflict. The text describes their final battles with haunting detail. Giant warriors destroying each other, while their horrified human mothers watched from below. For the Watchers themselves, an even more terrible fate awaited. Bound in chains of darkness, they were cast into the valleys of the earth, imprisoned until the day of final judgment. The text describes their desperate pleas for mercy as they were led to their eternal prison, their former glory reduced to nothing before divine justice. Azazel, the chief instigator of forbidden knowledge, received special punishment. Bound hand and foot, he was cast into darkness, his eternal prison covered with sharp rocks. The very knowledge he had shared became his undoing, as all the sins born from his teachings were bound to him forever. The human world, corrupted by celestial knowledge, faced its own judgment through the great flood, cleansing the earth of the corruption the Watchers had introduced. In the shadowed halls of modern institutions, the ancient warnings of the Book of Enoch echo with startling relevance. Today's technological pioneers, like the Watchers before them, stand at the threshold between known and unknown, wielding powers that can reshape human destiny. In the world's most prestigious research facilities, decisions are made daily that probe the boundaries of ethical limits. The parallels to the Watchers' transgressions become increasingly clear as we witness the rapid advancement of genetic engineering, surveillance systems, and weapons technology. Like those ancient beings who taught humanity the arts of war and manipulation, modern institutions now grapple with knowledge that could either elevate or destroy civilization. Corporate laboratories, much like the secret gatherings where the Watchers shared their forbidden knowledge, have become the new temples where transformative discoveries emerge. The development of autonomous weapons systems mirrors Azazel's teaching of warfare, while genetic modification technologies echo the Watchers' interference with natural order. The text's warning about the corruption of power finds its modern expression in the ethical dilemmas faced by tech giants and research institutions. Just as the Watchers' knowledge led to unforeseen consequences, today's technological advancements carry the potential for both miracle and catastrophe, blessing and curse. In the marble-clad boardrooms and executive suites of global institutions, the cautionary tale of the Watchers resonates with profound urgency. Today's corporate leaders and institutional authorities wield influence that rivals the power of those ancient celestial beings, carrying similar burdens of responsibility and facing equally devastating consequences for its misuse. Major financial institutions control resources that can uplift or devastate entire communities. Their decisions, like the knowledge shared by the Watchers, ripple through society with far-reaching consequences. The collapse of major banks and the subsequent economic crises serve as modern parallels to the chaos that followed the Watchers' transgressions. Within the corridors of power, surveillance systems monitor global communications, eerily reflecting how the Watchers once observed humanity. Yet these modern observers, like their ancient counterparts, face the constant temptation to overstep their boundaries, to use their knowledge in ways that violate sacred trusts. The concentration of power in modern institutions mirrors the hierarchy of the Watchers, where decisions made by a few affect the lives of many. Corporate scandals, data breaches, and abuse of authority stand as contemporary examples of how power, once corrupted, can unleash destructive forces upon society. Just as the Watchers faced divine judgment for their transgressions, today's institutions face the court of public opinion and regulatory oversight, with their failures bearing consequences that can reshape entire industries. In our modern era, humanity faces existential challenges that eerily mirror the catastrophic aftermath of the Watchers' intervention. The environmental devastation wreaking havoc across our planet bears a striking resemblance to the chaos described in Enoch's ancient warnings. Massive deforestation and industrial pollution darken our skies, reminiscent of the period when the Nephilim's destruction scarred the ancient world. Our oceans, once pristine, now bear the weight of human excess, much as the earth once groaned under the burden of the giants' insatiable appetites. The proliferation of destructive weapons in our time parallels the deadly arts taught by Azazel. Nations stockpile armaments capable of devastating entire regions, while the knowledge of warfare, like the forbidden teachings of the Watchers, continues to evolve into ever more lethal forms. In the face of these threats, the warnings of Enoch's text take on renewed urgency. The ancient account of divine intervention through the Great Flood serves as a sobering reminder of nature's capacity to restore balance through catastrophic means. Modern climate disasters, increasing in frequency and intensity, echo these ancient patterns of natural retribution. Just as the Watchers' actions triggered a cascade of destruction that threatened human survival, our current trajectory raises alarming questions about the future of our species and our planet. In today's interconnected world, the Book of Enoch's warnings about knowledge and responsibility resonate through every fiber optic cable and data center. The ancient text's lessons about the consequences of misused knowledge find powerful expression in our digital landscape. Modern social media platforms wield influence comparable to the Watchers of old, shaping human behavior and relationships on an unprecedented scale. Like those ancient beings who observed humanity from above, today's digital platforms monitor, analyze, and influence billions of lives. The power to shape public opinion, spread information, or sow discord lies in the hands of a select few, much as the Watchers once held the power to transform human society. The manipulation of information and truth in our digital age mirrors the corruption that followed the Watchers' teachings. False information spreads with viral efficiency, while the boundaries between truth and deception blur in an endless stream of content. The ancient warning about knowledge that humans were not ready to possess finds new relevance in an era of deepfakes and artificial intelligence. Privacy, like the sacred boundaries the Watchers transgressed, faces constant erosion in our digital world. The collection and exploitation of personal data raise ethical questions that echo the fundamental concerns of Enoch's narrative. When does observation become interference? When does knowledge become corruption? The Book of Enoch stands as a profound warning across millennia, its message burning with urgency in our contemporary world. Through its ancient pages, we witness the catastrophic consequences of power without restraint, knowledge without wisdom, and authority without accountability. The text's central narrative, the fall of the Watchers, resonates with particular force in our time of unprecedented institutional power. Their transgression began with observation, evolved into desire, and culminated in catastrophic intervention. This pattern of corruption continues to repeat itself throughout human history, from ancient civilizations to modern corporate entities. At its core, the Book of Enoch confronts us with eternal questions about the boundaries of human knowledge and the responsibilities that come with power. The judgment that fell upon the Watchers serves as a stark reminder that even the mightiest can fall when they abandon their sacred duties for personal desire. These ancient warnings find new expression in our modern challenges: the ethical use of technology, the responsible wielding of institutional power, and the preservation of our world for future generations. The Book of Enoch occupies a unique and controversial position in religious literature, its influence reverberating through centuries of theological discourse. Within the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, where it maintains canonical status, the text continues to shape spiritual understanding and liturgical practice. Though excluded from most biblical canons, its impact on religious thought remains profound. The text's appearance in the New Testament Book of Jude creates an undeniable link to early Christian tradition, while its vivid descriptions of divine judgment and celestial rebellion have influenced religious imagery for generations. In modern theological discussions, the Book of Enoch serves as a crucial window into the development of apocalyptic literature and ancient Jewish thought. Its detailed angelology and cosmic drama continue to influence religious scholars' understanding of how ancient peoples conceived the relationship between divine and human realms. In approaching the Book of Enoch, modern readers must navigate its complex layers with both discernment and reverence. The text demands careful examination, not merely as an ancient document, but as a mirror reflecting eternal truths about power, knowledge, and divine justice. For scholars and spiritual seekers alike, the primary challenge lies in understanding the text within its historical context, while recognizing its enduring relevance. Each section requires careful consideration of its symbolic language, historical background, and moral implications. The wise approach begins with the Book of the Watchers, where the fundamental themes of transgression and judgment establish themselves most clearly. From there, readers should trace how these themes develop through the subsequent sections, paying particular attention to the interconnected nature of heavenly and earthly events. Most critically, students of this text must remember that its warnings about power and knowledge speak directly to our contemporary challenges, making its study not merely academic, but urgently relevant to our time. If you found value in our deep exploration of the Book of Enoch and its modern implications, we invite you to join our community of seekers and scholars. Your engagement helps us continue producing in-depth analyses of ancient texts and their contemporary relevance. Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, ensuring you never miss our upcoming investigations into sacred texts and historical mysteries. Share this video with friends, family, and colleagues who might appreciate this journey through one of history's most intriguing manuscripts. Your support through likes and comments not only helps our content reach a wider audience, but also contributes to meaningful discussions about these eternal truths. We particularly welcome your thoughts on how the Watcher's story resonates with modern challenges of power and responsibility. Together, let us continue exploring the profound wisdom preserved in ancient texts. Until our next journey through history's mysteries, thank you for your thoughtful engagement.